Dragonites. Powerhouse pseudo-legendaries who can take the hits and dish the hits. But which Dragonite in the Pokemon anime is the strongest of them all? Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, it's Charles. How are you today? When Ash caught a Dragonite in episode 10 of Pokemon Journeys, the internet went ballistic. And this was understandable, as Dragonite has always been a symbol of power and prestige in the broader Pokemon universe, as well as within the Pokemon anime, ever since its debut as a mysterious silhouette on the ocean back in episode 13 of the original series. Of course, between that fateful night at Bill's Lighthouse and Ash's big catch, we've met a number of Dragonites along the way, which begs the question, which Dragonite is the #1 Dragonite in the Pokemon anime based on achievements, battle prowess, and the Shadow X factor. We won't be ranking any Dragonites who haven't been tested in battle, such as episode 13's Giant Dragonite or the Mailman Dragonite, but we will be ranking 6 bubbly badmen from 6 to 1, and it will be a fun time. So with that said, kindly cross-chop that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's jump right in. Number 6. Professor Oak's Dragonite. That's right, Professor Oak's Dragonite. The Master of Mirage Pokemon is a 10th anniversary special episode released in 2006 that follows the story of a scientist who invents a Mirage system to give new life to extinct Pokemon. And long story short, the situation quickly takes a turn for the worse, leaving Ash and the team pitted against the incredibly powerful Mirage Mewtwo and a host of other formidable Mirage Pokemon. Things are looking bleak enough that I thought we might see Ash die for the 5th time, but then Professor Oak stuns everyone by calling out his very own Dragonite to put up an orange wall of strength between the crazy cat kangaroo and his allies. Of course, you knew all along that Sam the Man had to be packing the goods, and although his Dragonite wasn't a match for Mirage Mewtwo, Oakenite managed to hold its own against the Mirage Pokemon with Twister, Hyper Beam, and Dragon Rage long enough to make a difference, before Mirage Mewtwo finally delivered a game-ending Tail Smash. Very little is known about Oak's Dragonite, but it put up a good fight when the odds were stacked against it, and I just wish we'd see it make a comeback. Number 5. Clair's Dragonite. Clair's Dragonite is the guardian of the Dragon Holy Land, the former partner of Blackthorn City's deceased gym leader, and a Dragonite who went absolutely ballistic in response to a Team Rocket intrusion, going after Team Rocket with Hyper Beam, only to take significant damage from Wobbuffet's sneaky Mirror Coat antics, but nevertheless, afterwards go full 1 versus 3 outrage mode against Ash's Pikachu, Ash's Charizard, and Clair's Dragonair. It fended off Thunder and Flamethrower from Ash's boys, would have taken Ash himself out if not for the safeguard of Clair's Dragonair, and broke through everything from a Thunder Wave to a Seismic Toss before it finally succumbed to a Double Thunder, followed up by a Fire Spin from Charizard. Clair went on to catch Holy Knight, and while we never saw it battle under Clair's ownership, it was already an impressive feat that it held its own against not 1, but 3 battle-hardened Pokemon simultaneously, even after it got socked by the Fett. A testament to the strength of the Holy Land Guardian and the Blackthorn City Gym legacy. Number 4. Lance's Dragonite. The first truly notable Dragonite we saw in the anime was Dragon Master Lance's trustworthy companion, who was basically a Gandalf the White-like guardian to Ash, his friends, and the forces of good, but orange, with a dad bod and antennas. As you may know, back in Johto, Ash's group got tangled up in Team Rocket's operation in Mahogany Town and were about to get drill-pecked into oblivion by the Fearow of Team Rocket officer and pro chin model Tyson when Lance's Dragonite swooped in to stop Fearow's attack with a debilitating Thunder Wave, going on to stomp Jesse's Arbok and 2 of the Chin's Fearows in the subsequent episode, further demonstrating its mastery of the god move Thunder Wave, among other moves, and putting Chinny Chin Chin in the slammer. We then saw Lanceanite battle the Red Gyarados in the Lake of Rage with Thunder Wave, Twister, and Hyper Beam, weakening it enough such that the Dragon Master himself could catch his signature red dragon, but not a dragon, with a Pokeball like a badass. But that was not the last we saw of Lance's Dragonite, as it saved the day yet again in Advanced Generations Team Magma and Team Aqua conflict, rescuing Ash from a tsunami, Gandalfing its way around the battlefield, and even saving Archie when the Kyogre he is controlling gets dropped by the Red Sandshrew. Lance's Dragonite and Lance himself are badasses of the highest order, and if we had just seen a little bit more of Lanceanite's capabilities, it would likely rank higher. But as it is, while we can acknowledge that its conservative play conceals great strength, we haven't seen it battle under match rules, and have no choice but to tip the scales in favor of 3 other Dragonites, who we have seen laying vicious moves down against tough opponents in official battles. Number 3. Ash's Dragonite. Ash's Dragonite has brought out the fireworks time and time again ever since Ash befriended it as a Dragonair back in episode 10 of Pokemon Journeys and helped it evolve into the cuddly orange blob with wings we know and love today. Ash's Dragonite is a softie off the pitch, but as we saw in its battle against Korrina, it delivers everything except hugs when pitted against a powerful opponent. Strong and resilient, it swept both Korrina's Mienshao and Mega Lucario to propel Ash into the World Coronation Series Great Class. Likewise, it readily took down a Wild Golurk together with Go's big red monster, fended off a Gigantamaxed Centiskorch alongside Pikachu until the purple Chad Leon could arrive on the scene to tidy things up in the Darkest Day arc, and later took out Iris's Haxorus with Draco Meteor to push Ash into the World Coronation Series Hyperclass after tanking 3 Dragon Rushes, a Thunder Punch, an Outrage, a Dragon Pulse, and 2 Psycho Cuts from Iris's Dragonite and Haxorus. What a chin. And there is no doubt about it, Ash's Dragonite has true potential, and while it could very well get Goodrud, it may move up a rank or 2 on this list depending on its performance in the later rounds of the World Coronation Series. However, we must acknowledge that if it was not for Mr. Fish stepping in to drop Iris's championship-winning Dragonite with a surprise Strongjaw Icy Fang to the face, then Ash's Dragonite would have gotten manhandled by Championite, which brings us to the next Dragonite. Number 2. Iris's Dragonite. Ash's Dragonite may yet surpass Unova champion Iris's Dragonite, but as it stands, Iris's fiery, super strong Dragonite is in the lead, thanks to its overwhelming strength and commitment to scoring the W's. Not to mention that it couples its raw physicality with a diverse arsenal of moves including Flamethrower, Thunder Punch, Ice Beam, and Dragon Rush, giving it great type coverage and a solid mix of close quarters and long-range attacks that it has utilized to take down one powerful opponent after the next. Strong and well-equipped as it is, I think Championite's true power comes from its character as a gritty, loyal, and ambitious Pokemon of the same quality cut as Ash's Charizard. In fact, the story of Iris and her Dragonite is quite similar to that of Ash and his Charizard, with Iris's Dragonite's disobedience costing her losses left and right back in the Black and White days, despite its sky-high potential. But just as Ash won Charizard's loyalty in Charizard Chills, Iris's Dragonite finally started to believe in her thanks to her valiance in the Unova Survival Crisis episode, and the two have been nearly unstoppable together ever since. And let us not forget Iris's Dragonite's unusually high resilience to Ice-type attacks, stomaching 2 Ice Beams and a Blizzard from George's Beartic in the Pokemon World Tournament Junior Cup, and then breaking George's Beartic, and an Ice Fang along with several Ice Shards from Dawn's Mamoswine while barely flinching, and then breaking Dawn's Mamoswine. Power, ambition, diversity, that Ice Chin. What a beast. So don't worry, Championite, nobody is holding the Mr. Fish fiasco against you. But while I could definitely see Iris's Dragonite matching or beating any other Dragonite on this list in a given battle, I could also see it losing just as easily to opponents with more experience and cooler heads. Which brings us to our final Dragonite, an absolute juggernaut of a Dragonite, and arguably the strongest that the anime has ever seen. Number 1. Drake's Dragonite. Ash's Indigo League opponents were nothing to write home about, but when he got to the finals of the Orange League in the subsequent mini-season, he found himself up against the real deal in his first full 6-on-6 battle against Drake, the reigning Orange champion and his absolute monster of a Dragonite. Drake's Dragonite was the very first Dragonite we saw tearing it up on the pitch in the Pokemon anime, and it was a sight to behold. While Ash quickly pulled ahead in his match against Drake with his special 6, knocking out 5 of Drake's Pokemon while only losing 2 of his own, once Dragonite entered the stadium, it combined incredible strength and tanking power with not just 4, but 10 different moves that it weaved together into an unpredictable assault that obliterated Charizard, Squirtle, and Tony the Tauros, leaving Team Ketchum with nothing but one final card to play. Orange Knight soaked up the damage, the wear and tear from 3 different confrontations, dealt with an asinine Team Rocket interruption, and went on to take even more hits from Ash's powerhouse Pikachu, as it turned what looked like it was going to be a landslide loss for Drake into a down-to-the-wire finale. And if not for Pikachu's sheer force of will and the ability to transform into a yellow yellow head crab or a straight-to-the-face thunder finisher, Orange Knight would have went 4-0 to seal the deal and leave Ashy Boy sailing home with empty hands. I'm sure that some people will argue that Ash was early on in his career, but he was already a formidable battler at this point, with 12 badges in hand, league experience, and a rock-solid team of loyal friends. Not to mention that nothing ever stays the same, and I can only imagine how powerful Orange Knight must be today, with even more experience, and yes, perhaps even more moves under its belt. Strength, resilience, grit, an outrageous moveset, unbridled sweeping power. Drake's Dragonite was the first true ace adversary of the Pokémon anime, and the performance it gave us was quite simply unforgettable. Oakanite, Blackthorn Knight, Lanceanite, Hugonite, Championite, Orange Knight. When a Dragonite enters the anime, you know you are in for something special. But how about you? How would you rank the strongest Dragonites of the anime? I'm curious what you think, and as always, let's chat.